chains bit into his wrists as the crowd roared. Samson stood in the center of the temple of Dagon, blind, broken, his once powerful arms trembling as two young boys guided him toward the massive stone pillars. Thousands of Philistines packed the balconies above, drunk with wine and triumph, mocking the man who had once tore a lion apart with his bare hands. His hair, shorn, gone, stolen from him in his sleep, was the least of what had been taken. He gritted his teeth and whispered a prayer no one else could hear. Lord, remember me, just once more. What happened in the next few minutes would bring down an empire's proudest temple, and it all began years earlier, with a promise, a birth, and a secret meant to be kept forever. Long before the chains, before the betrayal, there was a quiet home in the hill country of Zorah. Manoah and his wife had no children, and in their culture, that silence in the house felt like a wound that never healed. But one evening, an angel of the Lord appeared to her with a message that changed everything. "You will conceive and give birth to a son," the angel said. "No razor may ever touch his head, for the boy is to be a Nazirite, set apart to God from birth. He will begin the deliverance of Israel from the hand of the Philistines." She ran to tell her husband, breathless, hardly believing her own words. Manoah fell to his knees in prayer. "Lord, teach us how to raise this child you are giving us." Months later, a son was born, and they named him Samson. From his first breath, he was different, marked, chosen, wrapped in a purpose far greater than the small village around him could imagine. He grew broad-shouldered and strong, faster and more powerful than any young man in Zorah. But strength alone does not make a man wise, and Samson's heart often wandered where his feet should never have gone. Years passed. Israel groaned under Philistine rule. Foreign soldiers patrolling their roads, foreign taxes bleeding their harvests, foreign gods mocked openly in their own hills. Samson, now a young man of remarkable power, began to feel a restlessness that even he didn't fully understand, a pull toward the very enemy he was born to defeat. His strength revealed itself first in violence no one could explain. A lion charged him on the road to Timnah, and Samson tore it apart with his hands as easily as tearing a young goat, then walked on as though nothing had happened. Later, when 30 Philistine companions cheated him out of a wager, he came alone and single-handedly struck down 30 men in Ashkelon. His rage and his gift tangled together in ways that frightened even his own family. "Why do you keep walking toward them, Samson?" his mother once asked, worry etched into her face. "The Philistines are not your people." Samson only shrugged, unable or unwilling to explain the fire that pulled him toward danger, toward women who did not know his God, toward a life balanced on the edge of a blade. Then came Delilah. She lived in the valley of Sorek, and from the first moment Samson saw her, something in him surrendered before he even understood what he was giving up. She was clever, magnetic, dangerously calm, and Philistine rulers noticed the way Samson's eyes followed her. 5 Philistine lords came to her in secret, their voices low, their offer heavy with silver. "Entice him," they said. "Discover the secret of his great strength and how we may overpower him. Each of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver." Delilah did not hesitate long. That evening she turned to Samson with a soft smile that hid the deal already made. "Tell me, Samson, where does your strength come from? What could bind you?" Samson smiled back, testing her, or perhaps testing himself. "If they tie me with 7 fresh bowstrings never dried, I would become as weak as any other man." She had him bound that very night while Philistine soldiers hid in the next room. "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." He snapped the bowstrings as though they were scorched thread, and the ambushers scattered into the shadows. Delilah's eyes narrowed, but her smile never fully disappeared. "You mocked me. You lied to me. Tell me the truth this time." Twice more, Samson toyed with the answer, new ropes, weaving his hair into a loom, and twice more, he broke free, laughing off the danger as though it were a game he could never lose. But Delilah was patient, and patience wrapped in charm, is a dangerous weapon. Day after day she pressed him, her voice trembling with practiced hurt. "How can you say you love me when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me 3 times now and have not told me the secret of your great strength." Something in Samson began to crack. The weight of her nagging, the ache of wanting to be fully known by someone, the exhaustion of secrecy. It wore him down until his soul, the Bible tells us, was vexed unto death. And finally, in the quiet of the night, he told her everything. "No razor has ever touched my head, for I have been a Nazirite set apart to God since before I was born. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me, and I would become like any other man." Delilah knew, at last, that he had told her the truth. She sent word to the Philistine lords that very night. "Come once more, he has told me everything." While Samson slept with his head resting in her lap, a man crept in and shaved off the 7 locks of his hair, the sign of his covenant, the mark of his calling, gone in silence. "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." He woke as he always had, ready to shake himself free as before. But this time, his strength had left him. He did not know that the Lord had departed from him. The Philistines seized him, gouged out his eyes, and bound him in bronze shackles. The man who once tore apart lions was led in chains to Gaza, set to grinding grain in a prison house like an animal, mocked, humiliated, and utterly alone in the darkness. But in that darkness, something began to grow back that the Philistines could not see. His hair began to grow again. Months later, the Philistine rulers gathered in the temple of Dagon for a great feast, offering sacrifices to their god and celebrating what they believed was their god's victory over Israel's champion. "Bring out Samson," they shouted, "that he may entertain us." They led him from the prison, blind and stumbling, placed between the 2 central pillars that held up the entire temple roof. Thousands packed the building, men, women, nobles, and commoners, laughing at the broken strongman standing helpless before them. Samson turned his sightless eyes upward. "Please, boy," he said quietly to the servant guiding him, "let me feel the pillars that support the temple, so I may lean against them." He placed one hand on each massive pillar, and in the silence of that packed, mocking temple, Samson prayed the most desperate prayer of his life. "Sovereign Lord, remember me. Please, God, strengthen me just once more, so that I may with one blow get revenge on the Philistines for my 2 eyes." Then, with every ounce of strength that remained in his broken, humbled body, he pushed. The pillars groaned, stone cracked, and the entire temple of Dagon came thundering down. Walls, roof, idols, and thousands of Philistines collapsing into ruin in a single, earth-shaking moment. Samson died that day, buried beneath the very temple he brought down. But in his death, he accomplished more for Israel's deliverance than in all the years of his life before. His brothers came and carried his body home, laying him to rest in the tomb of his father, Manoah, among the hills where he had once been a boy, set apart before he could even walk. Samson's story is not one of a perfect hero. It is the story of a man given extraordinary strength, who learned, through failure, heartbreak, and loss, that true power was never in his hair, his muscles, or his own will. It was always in the God who never fully let him go, even when Samson let go of everything else. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Scripture Stories for more cinematic Bible adventures. Tell us in the comments which Bible story you'd like to see next. And if you'd like to continue exploring the greatest stories ever told, click the next video on your screen now. Thank you for watching, and God bless.